Good afternoon and welcome to Liberty High School, home of the Northwest Shootout, an all-star event featuring the top seniors, high school seniors from the state of Washington versus the top high school seniors from the state of Oregon. We're about 15 minutes away from the start of the girls' game, and then at 6 o'clock we will bring you the boys' action here at Liberty High School. This is a production of Oregon Sports Beat. I'm Dave Hall. I'll be doing the play-by-play. Working with me tonight for our third consecutive year here at the Northwest Shootout, my broadcast partner, three-time Oregon 6A girls basketball champion and current coach at Clackamas Community College, Kurt Guelsdorf. And Kurt, glad to have you back. This is going to be great games today.
Good afternoon, Dave. Yeah, it's good to be here again, and looking forward to two really strong games. You know, last year we saw the boys' game go into overtime and a shootout, and on the girls' side, the Washington girls dominated after, kind of flipping it from the year before. So, once again, a lot of talent for both teams. Fun to watch the other coaches try to put it all together.
You know, we're kind of in the same position we were last year. When you and I sat down and looked at the rosters for those games, we both kind of said last year, boy, it's going to be a tough road for the Oregon boys and girls. And last night we were at the banquet and we looked at those rosters and we said, boy, this is going to be a tough road for the Oregon kids again this year. One of the things in the girls' action coming up is the Washington team is definitely bigger.
Definitely have some size, although I do, just watching them warm up, and as we were here earlier for the clinic and watched them go through a little practice, not quite the size they had last year. I think last year was overwhelming size. I think this year, just eyeballing the warm-ups right now, it looks like a little bit more of I don't want to say Oregon's favorite in the size battle, but I think it's a little bit more even. Although if you count the number of BCS, the Power 5 conferences, Washington is represented at a pretty high level.
We've got kids, we looked at the roster for the boys and the girls, and we've got kids that are going to Gonzaga, Michigan, all up and down the West Coast. These are truly all-star players.
They really are. When you say a name like Gonzaga anymore, it's not just wow, right. It's a double wow, just with what Mark Few's done on the men's side, and then even on the women's side. They have become the West Coast Conference power. And so going to those schools, and then you hear a Michigan on the boys' side, that'll be fun to watch. And I'm excited about both games.
All right, in just a second we're going to talk about the coaches, Kurt, but I want to remind everybody this is the 25th annual event. This is the Northwest Shootout. I'll get you some information in just a few minutes about what this event benefits, and we'll talk a little bit about that. We were at the banquet last night, a number of speakers and information. We'll have the game here, the girls' game coming up. At the end of the girls' game, they actually pick an MVP. We have been working with the media here, and they're going to try to get us the MVP at the end of the game. In between games, the boys and girls games, we might have a special guest for you. I'm not going to say yet who that is, but we might have a special guest, and then at the end of the boys game, we'll have the boys MVP. So while we got a chance right now, let's talk about the coaches. And let's start with the girls coach, somebody you're familiar with, Jenny Mountain.
Yeah, Jen, I've known Jen forever. She recruited a couple of my players out of Oregon City back in the about 2012 class, I believe. Joe Payne and Montana Walters played for Jen down at Santa Clara. And she really made her name as an assistant for Kelly Graves' staff at Gonzaga, as Kelly Graves was making a name for himself at the Division I level, and now obviously a Final Four with the University of Oregon Ducks. So Jen, terrific coach, and an even better person. I got the privilege of speaking at a clinic with her this morning, and we had some coaches come in from all over to watch us talk a little bit, and Kelly Graves was there also doing a clinic. Mike Meek, newly hired at University of Portland, was one of the speakers. So Jen has done a great job, not just promoting the Oregon team, but also organizing stuff with BSN Sports.
All right, I also wanted to bring up, these are start out as 10-man rosters. Girls have 10 on each side. A couple of the Oregon girls are not able to play tonight, so Oregon is actually going to only have 8 players in this game. The Washington girls will have 10. On the boys' game, the Washington boys are only going to have 9, and the Oregon boys will have 10. But so there's 2 less players for Oregon here, and these games tend to be pretty fast-paced.
Yeah, well, a lot of it will depend on how good a shape some of these kids have kept themselves in since the end of their season. 8 can be a great number as a coach. It's going to be a 40-minute game. Also, the college length game will make a little bit of a difference, and depending on whether there's going to be media timeouts, those kind of things. 8 could be perfect, or 8 could be a little tough, depending on whether the Oregon squad has stayed in shape since the end of their high school season, getting ready to go, or whether they've taken some time off, which is always also a good thing.
All right, let's talk a minute about the Washington coach. His name is Matt Strophe, and he's the head coach at Moses Lake.
Yeah, again, Moses Lake, really solid program up there in the Seattle area, or kind of actually Moses Lake a little bit farther east, I believe. And terrific winning record there. It looks like a 67% winning record in his career, 26 seasons as a coach, and he's got his staff with him. And again, I think both coaches, and this is our 3rd year, we've seen some great coaches that are either former or college guys that have come back, like Larry Doty on the Oregon men's side, that do a really good job. And keep it in perspective, I think the thing here, you want to make this a great week for these kids. An experience they'll never forget, between the Mac Club dinners and the tour around Portland with the Shirts and Skins founder yesterday that they got to do. I think that's the biggest deal. Obviously both want to win and play well, these guys, so they'll never forget it before they go on to their college careers.
How much difference really can the coach make in this game when you've only had maybe 2 practices with these kids together?
Great question. I think it can be a little bit, a lot. Most of it is just trying to fit these pieces together as quick as you can. I think that they're trying to find a lineup that works. Oregon might have a little bit easier job doing that with just 8 kids. I think Washington with 10 players, obviously they may go 5 and 5 and rotate it that way. That's the biggest thing, is making sure everybody plays, everybody gets out there, and as the course of the game goes, and there is a close score, obviously both teams trying to win, they'll try to figure out what their best lineup is.
All right, well, we've got about 5 minutes. Let's take a look at the Oregon girl players. Let's run over them briefly, and let's talk a little bit about each one.
Okay.
We'll let you go ahead and start.
Okay, Nicole Fennaugh, Westview, again, shooting guard, 17 a game. The Metro League really tough this year. Obviously, Southridge, the big dog out there, but you had Jesuit play well, Beaverton in the top 4 in state, and so Westview I think ended up 5th in that league, and very tough shooting guard that is going to have to score the basketball for him today.
Before you move on to the next player, I just wanted to interject. These players are picked by the coaches. The coaches are the ones who decide which players are going to pick. When we went through the roster of these, not only were their stats impressive, their GPAs were off the charts.
Yeah, and that's, I don't want to say typical, because there's always different ways kids get to where they're at. But the time management that kids learn by participating in athletics, I think is a huge, one of the major huge benefits of being in high school sports.
Let's take a look at another player.
Yeah, Campbell Gray, Player of the Year in the Three Rivers League from Tigard High School. She's going to UC Davis. Tremendous all-around player. I've gotten to know her over the years, and tremendous kid. Off the charts with her GPA. Solid kid. Great fit for UC Davis. I know that program really well. And a super smart, heady player like Campbell's going to fit in really well.
And you saw her a lot.
I did see her a lot. I'm good friends with their head coach, Steve Naylor, and I saw him in practice, saw him in games. One of her teammates I recruited out to come to Clackamas next year, Danny Lyons, who's going to really help us. So I got to see a lot of Campbell Gray.
All right, another player.
Kalani Hayes from Clackamas. Kalani's undecided now college-wise, but whoever gets Kalani, whether it's volleyball or basketball, is going to get a real star. She's been a thorn in my side for a lot of years, having played at Clackamas, obviously Oregon City years for me. I saw a ton of her, and she is an excellent player from 15 feet and in. From the elbow, can blow by you, knock down that shot. I had to do a lot for Clackamas this year as they had a younger team, and she carried the load for them big time.
I do play-by-play, and one of the leagues I cover is the Mount Hood Conference. I saw Kalani about 8 times during her career, and I was impressed every single time.
Next up, Aspen Slifka. She's from Banks High School, 4A Player of the Year. And again, coming from 4A, it'll be interesting to see as she experiences some big-time players. But she's a club kid, too. I know she plays with Gary Lavender in the summer times at Oregon Elite, so this shouldn't be too big of a stage for her. But what a tremendous season she had as far as putting the ball in the basket at 24 points a game and just doing everything for Banks High.
4.07 GPA.
Yes. Ciera Ellington, next on our list there from Benson High. State champs, really all you need to say right there. Tremendous player.
I've been watching her warm up down on the floor, and she looks every bit as good. I probably did 4 or 5 of her games during her career,
yeah,
and totally impressed every time.
Yeah, Loyola Marymount bound, 20 points a game, and did everything for Benson. I think this was really the year Benson brought it all together. That state championship game against Southridge, 24-point blowout. It really came together for them, and they really, it was their time.
You know, Benson has struggled in some sports. Basketball's not one of them. Eric Knox has done a great job over there.
Yeah, he has, and he's kept that group together for a while now, and I think it all kind of just came together for him this year. Next on the list, Ula Chamberlin from South Medford, Weber State commit. Kind of an all-everything. Although coming from South Medford, I don't get to see her very often. Only in the summer times out on the recruiting trail, you get to see some of these kids from down south. But 18 a game, 44% from the three-point line. Pretty, and actually 38, excuse me, on that one, 44% overall. First team all-conference, all-state player. Again, she'll be relied on today to get the Oregon team some buckets. Next up, Cammie Walk from Sheldon High. She's going to Southern Oregon. Kind of came off a knee injury, so her stats weren't probably as big as they would have been. She came on late, although they have her listed at 23 points a game. I know that she came back right around December as they were playing over at Franklin High School in the Portland Shootout, or the PIL Shootout, excuse me, and played well there and got better and better as the season went on. And then lastly from Grant High, Daryn Hickok going also to Weber State. And again, an all-athletic kid there. I'm telling you, from 15 feet and in, similar to Kalani. Really tremendous player.
If you want a player who can shoot the mid-range jumper, it is certainly Daryn Hickok. All right, the teams are down on the court right now. And one of the interesting things that they started last year, these teams dressed up like the Sonics and the Blazers. If you look down there at the Washington team and see them in that green uniform, and then, of course, the Oregon team in the red and black with the big diagonal stripe across the front, it looks like you're looking at the Blazers and the Sonics. When the boys play, it even looks out much more.
Yes, it's kind of a neat little touch to the all-star feel. And like I said, it's a fun little atmosphere here. Good crowd this year, and so exciting to get this thing tipped off.
All right, we're about 2 minutes away from the start of the game. We'll have, of course, the national anthem. They'll introduce all of the players. When we do that, we'll give you the starters for each team. It pretty much doesn't make a big difference here in the beginning of the game who starts, because everybody gets playing time here. And most of the coaches in games I've seen so far, first half try to make sure everybody plays about the same amount of time. As they get further along in the second half, coaches start to want to win this game. This is 2 20-minute halves. So the players are used to playing 4 10-minute quarters. Tonight they'll play 2 20-minute halves.
Yeah, certainly a little bit longer than the 32-minute high school game, and a little bit different than the collegiate women's game where you go 10-minute quarters, which I really have a great time with. I enjoy the 10-minute quarter and the foul reset. It keeps the game from getting bogged down with too many fouls.
The other thing that's different about this game here in Oregon, you can look over at each end, and there is a shot clock.
Yes. You know, and who knows if it's coming soon in Oregon. I think it's something that universally the Federation, national high schools should just get together and decide, you know what, we're going to play the game the same way at every level. Shot clock and uniform some of the rules, but you know, that's just my opinion. I know that there's an argument here and there for costs that schools have to go through, but I think it's a better game with a shot clock. It's a lot more fun to play, and really it's all about the players.
You're watching the Northwest Shootout here on Oregon Sports Beat. We took a poll at Oregon Sports Beat last year, and it was overwhelmingly in favor of instituting a shot clock.
Yeah, I certainly, when I coached, I enjoyed the shot clock games in the summer that we were able to play. It just made it more strategic. You couldn't just hold the ball up by 5 with 2 minutes to go. You still had to make plays, and I think that's what kids want to do. They come out for basketball, they want to make plays, they don't want to hold the ball.
All right, we're waiting for the public address announcer. The teams are ready to be introduced. Public address announcer is Brian Perko. I met him last night at the banquet, and interestingly enough, I used to be a lawyer. Brian is still a lawyer, and we had tried cases against each other many years ago.
Yeah, you got some good lawyer stories for us, I'm sure. We got some coming.
All right, our PA announcer is doing the introduction. We'll give you the players as we go along as they introduce them.
Senior basketball players from Oregon and Washington, with proceeds benefiting the Oregon Sports Authority and their timeless effort to enhance our quality of life through local sporting events.
This game benefits the Oregon Sports Authority. Their director is Joe Etzel, the longtime athletic director, coach at the University of Portland. Nick Robertson is the events director for this event.
Let's honor our country and our servicemen and women at home and abroad.
All right, our national anthem.
And to help us with that, our Liberty High School students, Alexa Smith and Mae Bryant. Your national anthem.
All right, our national anthem, we're just about ready for the introduction of players. By the way, you remember last year, probably the outstanding player for Oregon was a 4A player, Hallie Wright.
Yes, she was tremendous last year in that game. Put the ball in the basket for the Oregon team, desperately needed it, and she was tremendous.
Here are your lineups for tonight's Women's All-Star Game.
All right, our lineups.
For Oregon, 6 feet from Benson High School. She was selected the PIL Player of the Year. She averages 5 rebounds and 20.4.
All right, for the Oregon roster, number 5, this is Ciera Ellington from Benson, state championship team.
For Washington, 5'8" from Mount Spokane High School. She is a first-team All-State selection and 2-time first-team All-League. She is a McDonald's All-American nominee. She averages 14.7 points per game. And will be
this is number 25 for the Washington team. This is Aspen Adams, first-team All-State in Washington.
For Oregon, 5'8" from Westview High School. She is the 2-time interstate shootout first-team selection. She is a first-team
Number 22 from Oregon, this is Nicole Fennaugh.
5 rebounds and 17 points per game. Number 22, Nicole Fennaugh.
She averaged 16 points a game.
6 feet from Lewis Clark High School. She is a 3-time All-GSL selection. And
Number 13 on the Washington team, and this is Jacinta Buckley.
She is a 3-time Adidas All-American. She'll be attending UNLV in the fall.
She'll be going to UNLV. Jacinta Buckley.
For Oregon, 5'10", she is from Tigard High School and a two-time Three Rivers League Player of the Year. She is McDonald's
Number 3 for Oregon, Campbell Gray.
State. She averages 8.3 rebounds and 17.6 points per game.
Two-time
Attending UC Davis in the
Three River League Player of the Year, headed to UC Davis, Campbell Gray.
Washington, 6 feet from Eastlake High School. She is the 4A Player of the Year, averaging 11.6 rebounds and 12.9 points per game. She'll be attending Grand Canyon University in the fall. Number 2, Mae Bryant.
This is number 2, Mae Bryant. She's headed to Grand Canyon University.
South Medford High School. She's an all-state selection and first-team all-conference. She is the Conference Player of the Year, averaging 3.
Number 2 from South Medford, this is Ula Chamberlin.
She'll be attending Weber State University.
And she's going to Weber State.
Ula Chamberlin. For Washington, 6'2" from Linden Christian High School. She is a 3-time all-conference and 2-time.
For Washington, number 5 from Linden Christian High School, this is Isabella Hernandez.
14 points per game. She'll be
She averages 14 points a game.
University next fall. Number 5, Isabella Hernandez. For Oregon, 6 foot from Clackamas High School. She is a 3-time
For Oregon,
All-League selection. She is the Mount Hood Player of the Year and a USA Today Oregon Top 5.
number 15, the Mount Hood Conference Player of the Year, Kalani Hayes.
Player of the Year nominee. She averages 6.3 rebounds and 14.3 points per game. Number 15, Kalani Hayes.
She'll have to be big for the Oregon team in the middle.
From Sunnyside High School, she has been selected the offensive and defensive
Number 12 for Washington, this is Ashley Maldonado.
player and was her team's captain. She averages 3 steals and 18.7 points per game.
Averaging 18 points a game.
Santa Clara University in the fall. Number 12, Ashley Maldonado.
Ashley Maldonado.
For Team Oregon, 5'10" from Grant High School. She is a first
Number 4 for Oregon
McDonald's All-American
from Grant High School,
Gatorade Player of the Year nominee. She averages
this is
6.4 rebounds,
Daryn Hickok.
14.1 points per game. Attending Weber State in the fall. Number 4, Daryn Hickok.
Did games last year. I saw her and I saw her brother too, who played for Grant.
6'3" from Kentridge High School. She is her team's captain and averages 11 rebounds and 17 points per game. She'll be attending the University of Washington in the fall. Number 4, Jaquia Miller.
This is number 44 for Washington, Jaquia Miller, and she's headed to the University of Washington.
High School. She is the 2019 Miss Basketball
For Washington, number 10. This is the Miss Washington for basketball player for Washington. This is number 10, Brynna Maxwell.
and the 2019 Washington All-State MVP. She is a McDonald's All-American nominee. She'll be attending the University of Utah. Number 10,
She's headed to a Pac-12 school, the University of Utah.
For Oregon, 5'11" from Banks High School. She is the 4A State Player of the Year.
Here's the 4A State Player of the Year for Oregon.
Kawapa Player of the Year.
Number 4,
Defensive Player of the Year. She averages
I'm sorry, number 14.
6.5 rebounds and 23.2 points per game. She'll be attending Northwest Christian University in the fall. Number 14, Aspen Adams.
This is Aspen Slifka.
For Washington, 5'11" from Kalani High School. She was first-team All-State selection and a 3
First team All-State selection for
All-Area Conference
Washington.
Player of the Year. She averages
This is
7.1
Omu Tufe.
Toure.
Umu Toure.
Yes.
Okay, Umu Toure, right.
For Oregon, she's 5'11" and from Eugene's Sheldon High School. She is a 2-time All-League
For Oregon from Sheldon High School.
7.2 rebounds and 8.2 points per game. She'll be attending Southern Oregon University in the fall. Number 20, Cammie Walk.
This is Cammie Walk from Sheldon High School, and she'll be attending Southern Oregon.
6'2" from Prairie High School. She is the 2019
From the state champion Prairie High School Falcons,
selection. She is a 2-time league MVP.
number 32. This is Brooke Walling.
MVP.
She's going to Fresno State.
32, Brooke Walling.
Some really good basketball schools up and down the West Coast. And
5'9" from LaSalle High School. She is
finally for Oregon.
state champions and a unanimous first-team all-tournament selection. She is a McDonald's All-American nominee and first-team All-League. She'll be attending the University of Southern California in the fall. She's unable to play due to an injury, but we're glad she's here. Alison Miura.
This is Alison Miura. She's injured. She won't be able to play. She's headed to USC.
Central Valley High School. She averaged
And finally,
4 assists, 3 rebounds,
for Washington, this is number 11, and it's Maddie Simmelink. It's Crescent Valley where the two Hull girls went.
Central Valley, yep.
Or Central Valley, I mean,
Central Valley, yep. You
they
got
were
it.
top team in the nation last year, and those girls played at Stanford this year.
They did.
There was a stat last night I heard at the banquet. This year in the NCAA women's tournament, the 64 teams that played, there were actually 29 girls who were from the state of Washington. Of those 29 girls from the state of Washington who played in the NCAA tournament this year, 26 of them played in this tournament.
Yeah, it's a tremendous stat. You know, you look, I bet you if we did the same thing for Oregon, Washington teams, you would see a whole litany of kids that are up and down the West Coast and even into the Midwest and even back east of great players. Remember a few years ago we had Avina Westbrook here and she was off to Tennessee, and there's just some tremendous players in both states, and it's going to be fun to watch.
One of the boys players, and I believe it's a player from Oregon, it might be Aaron Deloney, is headed to Vermont, University of Vermont.
It's a trip. That's a trip, that's for sure.
All right, jumping at center for Washington will be number 10. That's Brynna Maxwell. And she will jump. Is that Kalani Hayes?
Nope, Kalani's in the backcourt. I think that might be Hickok there jumping.
All right.
Ciera Ellington, excuse me.
Ellington on the jump. Yep. The ball controlled by Washington. We're underway. Thanks for joining us here on Oregon Sports Beat. Turn around the lane. The left-handed shot, it's good. And that is Isabella Hernandez.
And again, rules mandate man-to-man defense.
Right.
So you're going to see man-to-man on both sides.
Not supposed to play zone, although we saw some.
Washington came out last year in a little bit of zone. I think there were some puzzled looks all around.
Oregon with the ball. Washington with the lead, 2-0. This is Ellington in the middle, puts it up, bounces around. No, doesn't go. Rebound inside, and that was Brooke Walling.
It was a good matchup for Oregon in that matchup there with Ellington going with taking Walling off the dribble.
Underneath the shot, yes.
Mae Bryant inside.
Bryant inside, 4-0 Washington. Try to get the ball underneath, stolen away. That's Maxwell. Quickly ahead, Bryant again underneath, yes. Bryant with 2 quick buckets, and the lead is 6-0.
Washington 3 for 3 right now, and Oregon's got to find a way to get a bucket here just for confidence purposes.
Hayes down low. There's a long shot from way outside. No, that does not go. Rebound. Great save. Underneath the shot. Yes. A bucket for Ula Chamberlin.
Good hustle played by Campbell Gray underneath the rim to save that, and then Chamberlain finishes.
Cutter down the lane, and yes.
That was number 10, Maxwell.
Maxwell.
Nice cut, nice pass.
Missed basketball for Washington. 8-2 our score. Washington leads. Kalani Hayes, shot blocked inside there. Blocked by Walling. We got a whistle.
Going out of bounds, Washington ball. Turnover, Oregon. A little miscommunication on the pass underneath.
I'm Dave Hall along with Kurt Guelsdorf. Thanks for joining us. This is our 3rd year of bringing you the Northwest Shootout here on Oregon Sports Beat. Washington with the ball and the lead, 8-2. Lob underneath, Bryant, yes. And Mae Bryant quickly has 6 in the game.
Nice little pick and roll action there by the Washington squad. Got Bryant rolling down the lane line.
10-2. Underneath a scoop shot, yes, what a shot.
Campbell Gray got a step and was able to kind of maneuver her body around the Washington defender.
Gray showing great athletic ability. Underneath Bryant again. Boy, somebody's going to have to stand in front of her because she's got 8 points right now. 12-4, Washington leads. 2 20-minute halves. 17-10 left here in the first. Knocked out of bounds by Washington. Bryant's got 8 points on 4 baskets, all of them pretty much in the same place.
And just on hustle play, she's rolled hard on a pick and roll action. She's run the floor to get a lay-in. Right now, Washington's getting a little bit easier buckets, and their spacing is a little bit better than the Oregon squad.
Ellington had the ball stolen away. Washington comes right back. Bryant sticks her hand up underneath. There's a shot from the outside. Bryant fights for the rebound, taken away. Oregon quickly down court. Ellington dishes off on the side and out of bounds.
Just a hair on the out of control side on that attempt. It was the right idea, just unable to execute the pass. Ellington to Fennaugh in the corner.
Fennaugh it went right off her fingertips. Washington comes back with an 8-point lead. In the corner from the outside for 3, long rebound, Oregon.
It's Campbell Gray pushing the ball.
Gray, Ellington with the shot. No, that does not go. Turnaround, put back. That doesn't go, and finally rebound by Washington. Oregon had 2 good looks. Down to Bryant, spins around, puts up a shot. No. And here comes Ellington. I think that's the first miss for Bryant. Ellington scoop and a foul.
A little bit of body contact there, so shooting 2. Subs are starting to come in now. Looks like Washington's going to go 5-5. Oregon, obviously, with just 8 kids on the roster, will kind of intermix and keep people fresh that way.
Left-handed free throw by Ellington is good.
Ellington, Loyola Marymount bound. She's got a teammate on the Washington squad. She's got Aspen Adams, who just comes into the game. Future teammates from the West Coast Conference School, Loyola.
Ellington, 1 more shot.
Like you said, they need Paul Westhead there to coach them.
Now that would be fun. Although I don't know if they're in the shape right now to get it done.
12-6, Ellington hit both free throws. She has 2 in the game. Drive on the baseline underneath, hits the bottom of the basket, a putback attempt in there, and Oregon finally comes down with it. Ellington clears it out in the corner for 3, no.
Didn't quite get set on that shot by Slifka.
Washington from way outside, yes, buries a 3-pointer. That is Aspen Adams.
She looked like she was comfortable doing that one. That's a tough shot, pull-up jumper.
That's our first 3-pointer of the game, 15-6. Washington leads. Ellington lobs inside, turn around the shot. Hickok misses it.
Nice little up and under move, just unable to finish.
Another one from Adams. Oh my goodness. Aspen Adams just buried 2 3-pointers from the same spot. 18-6 Washington.
It's a good looking shot from Adams, and twice in a row now Oregon has left her.
Yeah, she's very confident with that shot. This is underneath the shot. Hickok missed that.
Yeah, this is why Hickok's size, not quite as big versus the length of Washington, and she should get up a little bit closer to Adams.
Adams missed that 3-pointer in the middle. Oregon with the ball, bounces it, sends it out. Fight for the ball, and a jump ball. Possession arrow goes to Washington.
A bit of traffic in there. Jump ball's going to go to Oregon.
Oops, I'm sorry. Possession arrow went to Oregon.
Back in for Oregon's number 15, Kalani Hayes.
Hayes checks in for Ellington. 18-6. Into Campbell Gray.
Gray, the floor general for the Tigers, Southwest Portland area.
A lob down low, trying to get a shot off, send it off in the corner. And now underneath, and loses the ball.
Adams. Cammy walked, kind of fumbled it on a really nice pass from Slifka there as the defense helped up. She'll get the next one. You know, it's a little early jitters probably for everybody.
We've played 6 minutes and it's 18-6. Washington leads.
Little motion action from the Washington squad.
Underneath on the baseline, the shot rolls around in and out.
It's Umu Toure. Took a little bit of pregame to get that name down.
I think you went down there and actually talked to her.
I did talk to her, and she got me on the first name, and then she said, "Do you want to try the second name?" And I said, I better stick around.
There's a baseline drive and a bucket.
It's Aspen Slifka.
Slifka with the bucket. She's at the line, a chance for a three-point play.
A huge get for good friend Chad Metters down at Northwest Christian University. Aspen will be a star there for many years.
Slifka at the line, chance for a three-point play, 18-8 our score. On the way, got it. We've only had 2 3-point buckets in this game, both of them by Aspen Adams for Washington.
Little 4-out motion here by the Washington squad. Trying to paddle it into Jaquia Buckley from
Buckley off the backboard and gets the bucket.
Excuse me, Jaquia Miller. I'm sorry, excuse me.
Personal foul is on number 15, Kalani Hayes. That's her first team foul. Miller at the line, 1 shot.
I'm sorry, that's right. This is Jaquia Miller.
Jaquia Miller. A lot of names were getting thrown out here quickly. Love it.
Miller gets a 3-point play. 21-9 now. Down the lane. And kicked ball went out of bounds and went off of Washington.
Yeah, that's one of the issues sometimes with all-star teams. The spacing not quite there for the Oregon squad. There's not as much room, and Fennaugh with the old throw it off the back play.
Fennaugh threw it off the back of a Washington player and then picked it up and tried to get a shot. Got a shot away, but it didn't go. There's a shot to the left and a bucket. That was Jaquia Miller.
Miller, University of Washington bound, showing us why early in this game.
So we've got a timeout on the court. 12:50 left in the first half. 23-9. 8 in the game for Mae Bryant. 6 for Adams on 2 3-pointers and 5 for Miller.
There's a lot of talent on that Washington squad, and the Oregon squad a little undersized as we're starting to watch the game develop. Washington's been able to have their way inside. I think Oregon's going to have to try to get, it's going to be hard with 8 people, but get up and down a little bit, maybe negate some of Washington's size. And obviously the shooting ability of Adams has been big early.
The top 3 scorers for Washington, 8, 6, and 5. The top scorer for Oregon, 3.
Yeah, and again, it's early. I mean, no panic yet for the Oregon squad. I just think it's a matter of trying to figure out what they can do against the bigger, stronger Washington squad. Gonna have to finesse them a little bit.
There's a long 3-point attempt. That was from Chamberlain off the front of the rim. Here comes Washington right back. Adams, cross, the shot off the iron, ball loose, picked up. That's Miller underneath. Still has the ball now, sends a cross pass. 3 on the shot, yes.
Addie Similate going to Concordia right here in Portland, Oregon. Knocks that one down on a nice pass by Miller.
Similek hits a 3-pointer, and now it's 26-9. There's a shot short by Oregon. Rebound, Miller. Miller dishes it off, leaves it for Adams. Back ahead to Miller, works inside. She traveled.
Pretty impressive run on the floor, though. I'll tell you, that was a travel, and she got her feet going a little too quick. But 6'4" running the floor like that, that's pretty impressive.
You're exactly right. That was impressive watching her run the court. She just needed to dribble.
Yeah. Again, they're probably a little bit rusty. They might have a little time off after their high school seasons, and so those things will happen.
Long shot from the outside. That doesn't go. That was Fennaugh.
Rebound by Walk, but blocked by Walling.
I tried to get the ball ahead to number 5, Isabella Hernandez. Too long. Turnover, the Oregon ball.
that's one of those ones as a coach that's a good aggressive turnover. You don't never want to turn it over, but we call that a dead ball turnover, and so it doesn't hurt you as much as those live ball turnovers.
Fennaugh seems to be the one running the offense. She starts everything coming down court. Hickok. Hickok's good on the mid-range jumper. She's inside, puts up a shot underneath, and it was blocked.
Yeah, again, you've got some length on Washington's squad. It's not quite as easy as you're playing your normal high school games here.
Oregon ball inbound, 11:20 left to go here in the first. 26-9 our score. Ciera Ellington works inside, puts up a shot, rolls across the rim, doesn't go, and Washington Bryant got the rebound and stepped out of bounds.
Oregon's had a couple out of bounds underneath plays. Let's see if they can execute something here.
Into Hickok. Daryn Hickok from Grant. Ciera Ellington from Benson. Underneath, back to Hickok, puts up a shot, fouled, she's going to go to the line.
Nice little spin move inside, created some contact, 2 shots for Hickok.
I'll say this for Hickok, she is trying to get inside. She's an inside player.
Trying to make plays. So far, not a lot of success, but it's early.
Hickok at the line. There's her first point. 26-9. Campbell Gray checks back in. Hickok at the line. Second shot. And she made them both. 26-11.
Oregon could use a stop here to slow the down.
Give and go. Work to perfection that time. Brynna Maxwell with the goal.
A backdoor cut to a tee-up, we would call that.
Ellington, a great left-handed shot from underneath the basket, and it goes, and she has a chance for a three-point play.
All started with a beautiful shot fake. Able to get the defender in the air, spin off, create the contact, finish.
Ellington and Hickok both trying to work inside now. Ellington with a three-point play, and she has 5 in the game. 28-14.
A couple players there from the PIL, Portland Interscholastic League, that was really tough this year.
Washington with the ball. A shot, yes. Worked her way inside in a bucket for Hernandez.
San Diego State left-hander. Nice finish there.
Fennaugh with a bucket.
Starting to turn into an all-star game here, Dave. They're getting up and down, letting them fly.
Rebound, Hickok ahead. Underneath, there's a shot. Ellington tried to get inside and get a shot. Ball goes out of bounds, blocked out of bounds, but clearly you can see Ellington and Hickok from the PIL are working their way inside. 30-16 our score. Ellington wanted the ball. She's way out on top though. Hickok lobs it inside, underneath the shot, yes! Campbell Gray.
Campbell's a guard, point guard. She can post up. I've been seeing that for years now from her. And if you get a mismatch on her, she'll take advantage of it.
Oregon was having trouble scoring, but not anymore. There's a steal by Fennaugh. Quickly ahead underneath. And the ball loose, picked up by Gray. Fennaugh with a shot for 3 off the iron. Maxwell with the rebound. Oregon has clearly picked up their pace.
Good unit. They've got some athletes out there.
Maxwell, foul is going to be on Ellington.
Just got beat a little bit there and tried to reach out. That'd been a tough shot. I probably would have let that one go and force her to make a tough running lay-in.
Game is on pace for 100 points.
That's the way we like it.
Kalani Hayes checks back in.
It's where the depth of Oregon, this pace is good for them, but do they have the conditioning level at this part of the season?
Maxwell hits the second, 31-18. Down the lane, Hickok, yes!
Nice cut, Nice pass by Fennaugh.
On the assist from Nicole Fennaugh.
There's a shot, a scoop shot underneath.
Maldonado headed to Santa Clara. That was a nice reach out for that lane.
Rebound, Hickok. Hickok working her way everywhere. Almost got that rebound and went out of bounds and went off of Oregon.
Hickok her effort, her motor is great right now. Making some energy plays for the Oregon squad.
Hickok had a steal, a rebound. Washington, the lob into Bryant. She kicks it back out on top. They go to the corner, there's a shot too hard. Fight for the rebound inside and stepped out of bounds. Chamberlin stepped out of bounds. She got the rebound but stepped out. Washington with the ball.
In some of these special situations, the out of bounds inside, you'll see some really simple stuff from both squads just because they don't have the time. They'll just keep it pretty simple, some lob plays, some screen plays, that's about it.
There's a shot inside, fight for the rebound. Fennaugh comes down with it. Nicole Fennaugh in the corner. Inside, puts up a shot, rolls around, that doesn't go. Quickly ahead. Washington set up. They'll slow it down. Brynna Maxwell with the ball.
Isolation ball here by Maldonado, and you can see why. Nice spin finish there. That's a tough shot.
Protected the ball, got the bucket. Hickok inside. A whistle. She went down the lane and put up a shot. Fouled.
Leaned in a little bit there, drew the contact. It'll be interesting to see if she gets that call next year. At the collegiate level, they don't quite make that call as often.
Hickok headed to Weber State. First shot is good. Hickok with 5 in the game.
Substitutions for Washington.
Ula Chamberlin, her Oregon teammate, also headed to Weber State.
Daryn Hickok at the line. Second shot, got them both. She's 4-4 from the line and 6 points in the game. 35-22.
Offensive foul there on the dribble handoff. Washington tried to muck it up and they didn't get away with it.
Foul. Oregon inbound the ball. Chamberlin. I'm sorry, Campbell Gray. That was Hickok into Gray. Kalani Hayes has her hand up. She wants the ball. Way outside. Yes! A long three-pointer.
Aspen Slifka.
First three-pointer of the game for Oregon. 35-25.
Oregon team just hanging around. Just hanging around. I think getting a feel for what they can and can't do. One thing, if I'm the Oregon squad, I look up when I see 16 fouls on Washington. I might take a couple shots at some isolation plays, some drive action to get to the foul line, score with the clock stops.
Foul was on Hayes. She takes a seat. Underneath, stolen away. Hickok with another steal. Down the lane. Tries to put up a shot and she's fouled.
There you go, 1-on-1.
Been a long time since this lead has been under double digits. Could happen right here.
Washington had the fast start. Remember Mae Bryant getting some buckets early, and
4 of them. Hickok at the line. She's 4 of 4 from the free throw lane.
Certainly been the Energizer Bunny for the Oregon squad so far.
Clanked it off the front. Hickok eyes the basket on the way, rolls around, drops through. Hickok with 7 in the game. The lead is 9. 35-26, 6:50 left to go here in the first half. Little spin move, that's Adams. Lob underneath, too hard, put back, that doesn't go. Fight for the rebound.
Ellington comes out with it.
Yes. I think she was surprised she had the ball. In the lane, dishes off underneath. Can't get a shot away. Ellington comes down with it, dishes off. And taken away. Miller with the ball. Boy, that is pretty impressive to see her dribbling. Baseline, hits the side of the rim.
That was Umu Toure, and she just got a little too deep and couldn't get a shot up there.
Chamberlain, baseline, right to left, sends it out on top. The shot for three, yes! Slifka with another three-pointer. Now the lead is 6, and Washington wants to take a timeout.
Some good basketball here. Oregon squad, a little reminiscent of the Oregon boys last year, Dave, with just some small guards and running around and letting the three ball go and keeping things competitive against a team that's a little bit more physical, but maybe not out to get the three-point shooters quite as easily.
Slifka has 9 in the game. Hickok has 7. Ellington has 5. Scoring coming around for Oregon.
Yeah, for sure. And these all-star games, it's kind of the nature of the beast. You've got kids that haven't played together a couple times, and they're trying to find their way. And early on, it can look ugly. Early on, it can look great, like Washington. So, Oregon group getting their footing, getting their spacing a little bit better, finding the hot players and making plays.
In the beginning, Washington went inside to Mae Bryant 4 times. They got 4 buckets, and they haven't done it since. What happened?
Well, I think Oregon's made a little bit of an adjustment. The game's gotten a little bit faster, so size isn't quite as important when the transition game gets going. And
in the corner, left-handed for 3, yes.
3-point basket number 13,
that was Jacinta Buckley.
Yes. That's the first time we've called her name today.
A shot. That was Gray. Comes back out and they get it back to Gray. Loses the ball on the ground, tied up.
A little too much dribbling there by Campbell Gray. Got caught up. You know, everybody's got a little bit quicker hands when you play in these all-star games. Everybody a little bit faster. Protect the basketball.
Fennaugh checks back in for Gray. 38-29, a 9-point lead for Washington. 4:55 left to go here in the first half. Quickly played first half. Miller misses a shot inside, tipped out. This is Chamberlain. Down the lane. That's a scoop shot a little too hard.
A little out of control there by Chamberlain. The impressive part about that was 6'4" Jaquia Miller guarding her straight up, and clearly a size mismatch. And Washington comes down and pounds it right inside. Man, almost a steal.
Buckley with another basket. Now the lead goes back to double figures. 40-29. Whatever they said in that little timeout huddle is working.
I would assume the Washington staff probably reminded them that their advantage is on the inside and to go there first and then play off of that.
And that's exactly what they've done. Chamberlain, Ula Chamberlain, baseline, dishes it off in the middle. Loss, comes back out. Ellington down the lane, a scoop, rolls around and drops in.
Nice finish there. We always used to say the left-hander has that cheat mode. That's a tough guard. And I think Watt got away a little push in the back there.
Stolen away. Here come Oregon. Knocked out of bounds. It'll be Oregon ball. Wholesale substitutions for Washington.
And Oregon's developed a nice little 8-man rotation right now. Washington's still going with the 5-and-5.
Inside, this is Hayes. Sends it out. Hickok. Yes. For 3.
Nice assist by Kalani Hayes. Drew the defense, put it right in her hands, knocked it down.
10 in the game for Hickok. (40-34). Outside shot, in and out. Can't go any further in without coming out the bottom, but it did. Hickok again. Dishes out. Ellington. To Fennaugh. Fennaugh pulls up for 3. No, in and out.
Struggled a little bit so far, Fennaugh, with her jump shot.
A long, long three. No, that isn't going to go. Rebound inside. A foul over the back of Ellington. You know, we're in a long period of time with only 6 fouls on Washington. Finally, we get to 8.
Yeah, and again, the clock stopped. Oregon able to score, and you know, with 8, get a little bit of a rest here.
Think about it. At one time, they were down almost 20 points. Ellington stands here, hits these 2 free throws. Oregon will be down 4.
A fun game for the fans so far. Up and down a little bit, getting a little bit of inside play, outside play. Kind of fun to watch so far.
Ellington has 8 in the game. When Oregon went to the PIL attack, Ellington and Hickok, between them now they have 18 points.
They are doing the job for the Oregon squad right now, and as much as they are on the scoreboard, the hustle plays are the most impressive thing I've seen so far.
In fact, Hickok is the leading scorer in the game. There's the inside shot, doesn't go. It'll go to the line though.
Maldonado's getting to the line there, and she can go both ways, right hand or left, and has an impressive ability to stay low. Notice she took a couple bumps there, Dave, and kept going.
She did.
You don't see that very often on the women's side.
She has
that bump.
She has 4 in the game. She now has 5. 41-36, 2:47 left to go here in the first half. Second shot on the way. That doesn't go. Front iron. Ellington with the rebound. Imagine if Oregon could hit a 3-pointer, they'd be down 2. Hayes, the ball went off her foot.
Looks like we're going to be shooting here.
I think there's a foul over the back. I think Kalani Hayes is going to the line.
A little bit too much hand check there.
Hayes is the line. First shot, yes. Kalani's first point of the game. Boy, were the Clackamas Cavaliers good when they had her and Ciera James both in the lineup.
Yeah, there's been some good squads over there. Good program.
And James played in this game last year. 41-38. Inside. That's a foul. I'm not sure that went over big with the Oregon crowd.
Yeah, I think probably clean on the shot, but I think if we were to look at that one again, I think Campbell had her hand out on the hand check on the drive, so I probably would have called it on the drive and given the ball Oregon out of bounds under.
Free throw, it's good. That's Hernandez. She has 5 in the game. Second shot on the way, the left-hander. Hernandez gets them both. The lead goes back to 5, 43-38. Lob inside, Ellington. Ellington down the lane, stops, dishes off, Hayes, yes! Nice assist from Ellington.
Yeah, that play was created 100% by Ellington. Her ability to get by Mae Bryant there. Put pressure on the Washington defense to help, and Kalani Hayes was the beneficiary.
Shot from the corner, wow, that was a high shot. Rebound, Ellington. Can her and Hayes work that shot again? Hickok pulls up the free throw line to Ellington at the top. Back to Hickok underneath. Tries to get a shot off. Out of bounds. And it'll be Oregon ball.
Here you got little time and score situations with 1:38 and shot clock at 30 seconds. You may be able to start going for 2-for-1s. Oregon run a little flex cut here off the out of bounds play.
Hickok.
Shot clock down to 5 here. I don't think Oregon realizes it.
I don't think she realizes it. Gonna have to shoot quick. Too hard. Hickok just realized at the last minute. Bryant, turnaround jump shot.
Wow.
Yes. Mae Bryant.
Wow, that was falling to her right. Got her body. Call that an air square there.
Fennaugh comes right back with a bucket. 45-42. Washington, 1 minute left. Bryant, turnaround. That doesn't go. Rebound, Hayes. And stepped out of bounds, Bryant. Bryant got her hand on it, but stepped out of bounds.
Impressed with Mae Bryant. Her energy up for the Washington squad. Not only can she finish, but she's a pretty good athlete moving around inside there.
She has 10 in the game. Hayes. Kalani Hayes, pull-up jumper, iron, rebound Bryant.
So still not a bad play there, although it looked like a little bit forced. Gives them a 2 for 1. Now Oregon could get the last shot. Looks like they're going to go.
Hickok, yes!
Last shot time for the Washington squad.
Hickok pointed at Gray. Gray set that up. 45-44. Oregon trails by 1. 14 seconds. Washington wants to play for 1. Hickok will come out and pick up the dribbler. That's Maxwell.
They got 1 foul to give. We'll see if they give it.
Blocked by Ellington. Blocked by Ellington, out of bounds.
Out of bounds under Washington. We'll see what they do. Quick little handoff play, jump shot, bingo.
Maxwell, turnaround jump shot.
Hey, well played first half.
What a first half. Our score at the end of the first half, it is Washington 47, Oregon 44.
Hey, PIL, that's what I've got to say for the Oregon squad, and Mae Bryant for that Washington squad.
Bryant with a total of 10 in the game. Hickok is the leading scorer in the game. She has 12. Ellington has 9. You know, somewhere about 10 minutes into this game, about halfway through the first half, I think the Oregon team decided, you know, we're going to play tough.
Yeah.
We're going to cut inside. We're going to...
Yeah, and I think the tempo of the game sped up, which played into Oregon's hands.
Exactly.
And again, in an all-star situation, as you're a coach, you don't really have a chance to play your tempo all the time. And the Washington squad had hurt the Oregon squad inside early, and then Oregon got it into an up-tempo game. We just got the stats delivered there, Dave, so we'll kind of digest these really quickly. You know, say some even playing time. The Oregon squad, you know, like you said, led by Hickok with 12. 2 rebounds, 2 assists, kind of a do-everything half for Hickok.
Let me give you the individual scoring in the game. We'll start first with Washington. Mae Bryant has 10 in the game. Isabella Hernandez with 6. Brynna Maxwell, mentioned that she's Miss Washington basketball. She has 7. Ashley Maldonado with 5. Mady Similink has 3. Jacinda Buckley has 5. She came in the game and hit 2 baskets for those 5 points. 6 in the game for Aspen Adams. She's 2 of 3 from 3-point range. And 5 in the game for Jaquia Miller, the leading rebounder in the game for Washington is Jacinda Buckley with 3. In fact, Oregon has out-rebounded Washington 29-20.
Yeah, and I'll let you go through the Oregon squad, and I'll just talk about a couple stats that kind of stood out to me.
All right, individual scoring for Oregon. Ula Chamberlin has 2. Campbell Gray has 4. 9 in the game for Ciera Ellington, including 5 of 5 at the free throw line. Kalani Hayes has 4. Nicole Fennaugh has 4. 12 in the game for Daryn Hickok, 5 of 6 at the line. Slifka with 9 in the game, including 2 of 2 from 3-point range. And Cammie Walk did not score in the game. The leading rebounder for the Oregon is Ellington with 7, Chamberlain with 6.
Yeah, Chamberlain a guard with 6. A couple things that stood out to me. You know, Washington close to 50% from the field, shooting-wise, so pretty efficient for your Washington squad. But then looking down to Oregon and wondering why, you know, hey, they didn't shoot it great, only 34%. Then you immediately look at that rebound total, and you see that Oregon had 11 offensive rebounds, 29-20 overall rebounds. And then if you look at the free throws, Dave, I don't know if you caught that one yet. Oregon 13 for 14 at the free throw line, got twice as many free throw attempts as Washington, and made 8 more free throws than, let me rephrase that, 6 more free throws than Washington even attempted. So again, dominating a couple key stats that, you know, kind of overcomes that 34% shooting by the Oregon squad.
One of the stats that stood out to me, I already mentioned the rebounds, 29-20. The reason for that big disparity, Oregon has 11 offensive rebounds.
Just some hustle plays, and here's a couple funny ones for you. I bet you if we look at the team rebounds, I know that's a weird little stat for viewers out there that don't know. The team rebound is a shot by the Oregon squad. It gets tipped out of bounds. Nobody really gets it, but it's off a Washington player. Oregon gets it. That's considered a team rebound. Oregon has 4 of those, and that was those 4 out of bounds plays underneath, if you remember from the first half there. And that adds up. That's 4 more times they're going to get shots, and that helps counter the 34% from the field.
The largest lead that Washington had. I mean, this game is right now is sitting at a 3-point lead at the 12:22 mark. Washington led by 17. Oregon has never had the lead in the game.
Nope. Score tied 0 times. Lead changed 0 times. So clearly you look and think, well, Washington should be ahead and running away with this, but the Oregon squad got the game up and down, and a tempo that favors their guards and their athletic kids. You see Ellington, who I know is a guard for Benson, state championship team, yes, coached by Eric Knox. I know she's a guard for his squad, plays a little forward at times. She is playing some defense at the post area at one end and then coming down and just playing basketball at the other. And the Oregon squad has been able to get their spacing and take advantage of their athleticism to the rim.
You know, from the 12-minute mark on, Oregon outscored Washington by 14. So that was a big deal. The other thing that I was just looking at this, Washington has 10 players. They've been running 4-minute rotation. They've been switching every 4 minutes. So 5 of their players played 12 minutes in the first half, and the other 5 played 8 minutes. For Oregon, with only 8 players, every single player played at least 9 minutes, 6 of them in double figures.
And that allows you to get into a little bit more flow, to be honest with you. The 5-man rotation, we'll see if Washington continues that. There's nothing wrong with it. Certainly in an all-star game, it lends itself to the 5-and-5 rotation. It's just a matter of your dilemma becomes, let's say you get a hot rotation. You're rolling. Washington had some stretches of 4 minutes there where they were really rolling, and then now we sub. You know, you normally wouldn't do that. You would keep a hot lineup out on the floor a little bit longer. You would keep the hot team, the hot players out there a little bit longer. So, you know, we'll see what happens in the second half, whether they go to more traditional rotation or stay with the 5-and-5.
I know I mentioned a couple of times during the first half about Ellington and Hickok being PIL players. You mentioned the PIL was very good this year, very competitive, and very, very physical.
Yep.
Between Ellington and Hickok, they've gone to the line 12 times and made 11 of those shots.
Yeah, and Hickok makes up for the 3 for 10 from the field by going 5 for 6 at the foul line. Now she's a lot more efficient with those 10 shots. And Ellington 2 for 6, 33%, but 5 for 5 at the free throw line. So the Oregon squad's making some hay at the free throw line, and we'll see if they can continue that in the second half, or does maybe Washington make an adjustment and just, you know, dare some 3-point shots. You know, Oregon only goes 3 for 10 in the first half from the 3-point line.
All right. 3-time state champion girls basketball coach, coach now at Clackamas Community College, Kurt Guelsdorf. Kurt, you're down there in the locker room with the Oregon girls. What are you saying?
I'm saying let's get the tempo as fast as we can. Continue to rebound well. That was huge. And the other thing would be continue to attack the basket relentlessly. Find ways to get Hickok and Ellington in space so they can play basketball. And then shooters, Slifka, Fennaugh, Campbell Gray, keep good spacing, make them pay if they overhelp. And then Washington-wise, they might have to look at playing off a couple of these drivers and taking advantage. Again, I think a slower tempo favors Washington, but in all-star games, it can vary half to half. You know, Washington has some athletes too. It's just that I think they looked a little bit better in the first half when they were pounding it inside. But, you know, we'll see what happens in the second half.
All right, we're here at Liberty High School. This is the Northwest Shootout, the 25th anniversary of the Northwest Shootout. We are Oregon Sports Beat. Thanks for joining us. I want to remind you, we cover all high school sports. In fact, Thursday night we were out at Delta Park and we covered the girls lacrosse match between Central Catholic and these Liberty Falcons. It was a great event. If you want to see where we're going to be coming up, so you can tune in and catch us, you can go to OregonSportsBeat.com. I'll let you know next week on Wednesday night we'll be back at Delta Park We have a girls soccer match lined up for you. Central Catholic will be in that. And then Thursday afternoon at 3:45, we're going to bring you a girls softball game. And that will also be at Delta Park. Go to OregonSportsBeat.com. We have our listings for all of our events in April and May. I think we actually have 19 events in April.
Dave, what are some lacrosse terms that you have to use going and announcing one of those games? Goal. And what do they play with sticks? Is that what those are called?
Yeah.
Or nets, or what are those? They look like fly catchers to me when I'm in my backyard.
Those are sticks.
Chasing around.
Those are sticks.
Okay.
You know,
it's just a ball.
Different rules for the boys and girls.
Yep.
Boys are allowed to hit each other with the sticks.
I've seen that. They hit each other. They whack each other on the wrist.
And the girls don't.
Not so much.
They're different size sticks. You know, they're the long sticks that some of the players use, and they're short sticks. There's a goalie.
And it's passing. They call it passing, just like basketball.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Interesting stuff. I've got some students in my classes that play lacrosse. I just don't know any of the terminology.
It's an American sport. Came from the American Indians.
It did, and it's a growing sport. Spring sports.
We're ready to start the second half. We're going to stand up here so we can get the little fence in front of us out of the way. And it'll be Oregon to inbound the ball, Ellington into Fennaugh. And we're underway in the second half. There'll be a post-game at the end of this. They'll pick an all-star. Hopefully we'll have that all-star with us after the game. Hayes inside, puts up a shot. No, tipped around. Oregon comes down with it. Pull-up jumper, yes, buried it. That's Chamberlin.
Yes, and a little bit of a lucky offensive rebound, but sometimes better to be lucky than good. Chamberlin gets the loose ball and sticks the shot.
Lead is 1, 47-46. Aspen Adams hits those long, high balls. That's an air ball, though.
Yeah, a little bit of a tough fade back on that. Oh, look at that little step back jumper.
Underneath, open. Oh, hit the bottom of the net. Ellington got it to Hayes down there. She hit the bottom underneath. Yes, wide open.
And let me say it, Umu Ture.
Umu Ture.
Yes, my favorite name of the year right there. Super nice kid. Got to talk to her before the game.
You're just like.
I want to say that name all day long.
Because
there she goes.
She helped you. Ture.
Adams. Adams should have shot right there.
Three-pointer. There it is.
Yeah, that was her feet set, balanced. Quick timeout by Oregon.
Adams 3 for 5 now on three-pointers. And the lead is 6 at 52-46. And Oregon wants to take a timeout.
Yeah, quick little timeout there, maybe to make an adjustment on Adams and a 3-ball or something to that effect. Coach Mountain making sure we're all on the same page there for the Oregon squad.
$52-46. Buckets here by Ture and Adams for Washington. A bucket for for Chamberlain. Oregon with the ball. Ellington. And she'll send it into Fennaugh.
Looks like Oregon going with a 1-4 high set play out of a timeout.
Ellington.
Pick and roll. Oh, that's a foul. Clays was getting held by Miller underneath. Referee didn't see it.
You can't roll when they're holding you. There's a shot from the side. Put back. That doesn't go. Tipped around inside. Miller comes down with it. Adams for 3, another one.
She is a lights-out three-point shooter.
And the lead jumped. It was 1. It's now 9. That quickly.
The ball screen by Ellington and Gray up top.
And there's a turnover.
Yeah, Gray had the mismatch on Miller and just should have kept the dribble and tried to probe that a little bit more. Tried to make a quick decision when she didn't need to. Hickok back in the game. Energizer Bunny.
Coach Mountain puts Hickok back in the game. Hickok, Ellington in there at the same time. That's what's worked best, I think. Well, it's a high dribble. Hickok okay. Yep, she's up. 55-46, 17-47 left in this game. 9-point lead for Washington. Miller, Jaquia Miller. This is Adams. Got to watch her, got to guard her.
Shot clock at 10. Ooh, that's going to be offense.
Yes, offensive foul on Jaquia Miller.
Extended that left arm a little bit. Yeah, you can see that one coming.
And you can see she had a big smile on her face. She knew.
Yeah. And it's one of those ones, as she starts to mature in the college level, she'll know that she had that play, didn't need that.
Inside, steps back, yes. Campbell Gray, the step back jumper.
Yeah, that's that little Dirk Nowitzki fade away in the paint. She can make that play. It's fun to watch.
Greatest step back jumper ever, Dirk Nowitzki.
Oh, over Larry Bird?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes. Now it's
fade away?
Yep,
okay.
Now it's going to be Kevin Durant.
Okay. We'll have
Hickok
to talk more
underneath.
about this as the night goes on, Dave.
The shot, yes, Kalani Hayes.
That's Ellington.
I'm sorry.
That lefty. Yeah, we're going to talk more about this Bird Nowitzki thing.
Oh,
Dave. I don't know.
Okay.
80s child here, Larry Bird.
Well, I'm a Bird fan. I grew up in Indiana. But
boy, that's blasphemy, Dave. You're selling Larry Bird out there.
There's a shot. No, rebound, putback, Ellington. Yes. Ellington with a putback, and she's fouled.
Oregon squad all over the offensive boards tonight, making a huge difference in keeping them close.
Ellington with 13 in the game, chance for a three-point play, yes. 14 in the game for Ellington, the lead is 2, 55-53. It was 9, 7 quick Oregon points. Down the lane, the stop, the hop, the shot, no.
All right, Dave, you know who that is.
That is Toure.
Yes.
Umu Toure.
Toure.
Third personal foul, first team foul, Umu Toure, shooting 2.
Umu heading to Butler University. Your old stomping grounds there, Dave. Indiana, Fieldhouse.
There are legendary places that play basketball in the United States. One of them is the Butler Fieldhouse. Another one is the Palestra in Philadelphia.
The Big Five schools in Philly.
Yep.
That's a bucket lister for me, and maybe head back to old Hickory and see what's going on there with the Hoosiers.
Exactly.
Someday.
Hickok underneath. This is Hayes. Dishes off. Gray for 3. Oh, in and out. Toure with the rebound.
That would have tied the game, Dave. That would have been fun.
That would have tied the game. Oregon steals it. Ellington dishes underneath. Gray.
Oh,
yes.
Slifka.
Foul. I'm sorry, it's Slifka.
Nice pass. Ellington shovels it off at the last second. Slifka flips it up.
That's her third personal 13 foul.
Ellington had a couple of assists in the first half. She's already got 2 here in the second half.
Maxwell,
Oregon just keeps coming.
Slifka at the line. This would tie the game.
Aspen Slifka, one shot.
And roll round doesn't go.
That would have been fun.
She's got 9 in the game.
I think that gets her to 11, doesn't it? With that
Or 11.
Yeah.
That's right, 11. 56-55, 15-47. At the top, a shot off the... And Ellington lets that go out of bounds. It'll be Oregon ball. Hickok will inbound it.
Oregon chance to take the lead here, Dave.
Chance to take the lead. What a shock that is. Fell behind by 9 and now just got it back together. Hayes, pull up from the top of the key.
Ooh.
No.
A little strong there.
Maxwell, picked up by Hickok.
Hickok moves her feet really well laterally.
She does. She's relentless. And that's the thing I was noticing. I didn't say it, but boy, can she move her feet.
Interesting to see what they do at Weber State with her, because again, probably a little downsized to play the post.
Hayes for 3. Oh, back iron.
Hustle
Rebound.
play by Ellington.
Ellington with a rebound. This is Slifka underneath. Can't get a shot away. High bounce for Campbell Gray.
I just lost it on her first dribble there.
Washington with the ball, the jumper, iron. Let's see who gets that. and that's going to be Oregon ball out of bounds.
A little bit of a quick shot there. I don't know if Maxwell had her feet set coming off that.
Fennaugh checks back in. Ellington in the game. Hickok in the game. Fennaugh in the game.
5 out here. Cammy Walk in the game, playing 4 for him. And there it is.
That's a 3. Slifka with a 3. Washington quickly back down court.
Transition defense broke down there for Oregon. Nobody got on the Washington player and knocked it down. That was Hernandez.
Hickok slashes inside. She's fouled. We're tied at 58. That bucket by Hernandez, the bucket by Slifka, 58-58.
After that start, who'd have thunk we'd have been here, and who'd have thunk that an Indiana guy would go against Larry Bird? That's 2 things that have happened so far that I cannot believe.
You know, I was born in South Bend.
All right.
Hickok at the line, gets it.
So it was a little bit more Digger Phelps than it was Bobby Knight, huh, for you, probably, right?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. All right.
Hickok's second shot on the way.
She's a machine at fouling.
She is. And Oregon has the lead. I know that's been a long time we've said that because we've never said it.
Boy, Hickok, just a handful on defense.
There's a shot. Doesn't go. Rebound to Ellington.
Hey, Washington's taking some quick shots right now. And
Ellington
Oregon,
all the way. Yes. One into the other and just lays it off the glass left-handed. Ellington was 7 already in this half. And the lead is 4 way outside. That's not going to go. Rebound Fennaugh.
Again, you hate to talk about shot selection in an all-star game, but I think Washington needs to get a good shot here.
That's going to be a foul on Hickok. Over the back of Maxwell.
Just a little energy there, and
you know,
good job, good sportsmanship helping the Washington player up.
I'm impressed with Hickok offensively, but boy, she's a relentless defender.
Yeah, I think she'll be able to guard at that Division I level. The question will be, can she get her shot from the perimeter? I know she can post up smaller guards, but can she get inside like she normally does against the bigger Division I guards?
Way outside, fight for the rebound, turnaround scoop shot.
Rebound to the basket.
It's Mae Bryant.
Boy, Bryant's first bucket since the first half. Fennaugh dribbles between her legs, off on the side. Ellington for 3, yes!
Oh, I tell you, man,
3 points.
this game is a lot of fun to watch.
Ellington with 10 already in this half.
Certainly as good an all-star game as we've had on the women's side.
Hickok.
Well, that's out of bounds.
I thought it was out of bounds,
sure looked
too.
like that hit out of bounds.
Now it is out of bounds, but it's off the Hickok.
Number 2, Ula Chamberlin.
Ellington was 17 in the game. Mae Bryant underneath, yes, bucket from Maxwell.
Basket by Brynna Maxwell on the pass from Mae Bryant.
Oregon leads 65-62. From outside for 3, bounces around underneath, tip, back, Fennaugh puts it back up and in.
Boy, Oregon offensively in this half, super efficient. We don't have the stats in front of us, but they are putting the ball in the basket.
That rolls around and drops in.
Washington basket by number 5, Isabella Hernandez.
Fernandez with the bucket.
Timeout.
So we got a timeout on the court. 12:04 left to go in this game. 67-64, Oregon leads.
This one's a lot of fun. We've had 8 minutes played here. And we went from a 47-44. Oregon 23 points in the first 8 minutes here. And Washington, no slouch. They've scored 17. And again, in a typical high school game, when you're getting 17 in a quarter, you're doing really well. So both teams at a high rate of efficiency and against fairly good defense. There's a couple breakdowns here and there, but we've got some scores out there.
What Oregon is doing, they're playing so much smarter than they opened this game.
Yeah. Again, we talked about that. Just that familiarity. These are good players. They start to figure out what the other guys like to do. Keeping it simpler. I think the simpler the better in all-star situations. Here you've got Chamberlin coming up through an elevator screen, coming out of a timeout.
Tipped out of bounds. Goes
by,
off of Washington.
you know who by? You know who tipped that out, Dave?
Toure.
Umu Toure.
Umu Toure.
Love it. I would love to be the announcer at Butler University for the next 4 years.
Right. We'll have an all-name team here in a while.
Here comes Similink up the left side.
Adams, no, in and out this time. Rebound comes down quickly ahead. Pull up in the lane, blocked.
Would have been a good time for a little step through there or a bounce pass to Fennaugh, who was running the lane.
That was Slifka who came down with the ball and got her shot blocked.
A little bit more length out there.
67-64. Oregon leads.
What about it?
At one time, Oregon was behind by 17.
Oh, a good hustle play. Umu. Boy, that was a lot of hustle there. Hickok, speedy athlete, got caught from behind.
Hickok at the line. 67-64, 11:08. Hickok has just been deadly at the line. Hits the first one.
Do you have her numbers at the foul line, Dave? I know she was at halftime 5 for 6.
Well, she's now 8 for 9.
Wow. In Oregon,
and she does it so effortlessly.
Making a living at the foul line.
9 for 10.
And again, I take a peek at the foul total, Dave. And I know it's an all-star game, but
5-1.
It's 5-1, and that's not to make any comments about any refereeing, because you know me, I love referees. I just think that Oregon, that could be an advantage for them late in the game.
Adams, and she's been deadly from three-point range. Inside to Miller, spin move, shovels it up, bounces around. She's fouled though.
Yeah, that was again a mismatch down there. Kalani Hayes doing her best, but Miller, UW bound, 6'4". That's a clear mismatch.
Jaquia Miller, she has 5 in the game, has not scored here in the second half. Now she has. Boy, she has great athletic ability.
Yes, she does. We saw her the one time running the floor like a two-guard.
And she hits both of those. So she has 7 in the game. 69-66, three-point lead for Oregon. Ellington.
Here's Gray, middle drive.
Gray loses it off her foot.
And no really room to go there. Campbell unable to get out of trouble, and Adams for 3. Oh boy.
Adams buries another 3. That's her 3rd of this half and 5th of the game.
We are tied at 69, dude.
Tied back at 69. Campbell Gray. In the middle, has the ball knocked away. Hayes puts it up. Oh, too long.
Here comes Miller, all 6'4".
Miller better not get in her way. And she
baby.
goes down the lane for a bucket and a chance for a three-point play.
That was an impressive play right there. Again, this is where Washington, we come to that 8-minute mark. Are they going to continue to go 4-4? Or are we going to start to see a lineup that might be hot stick with it a little bit? We'll see what happens here in a couple minutes.
Misses.
Umu.
Toure with the rebound. Out on top, this is Adams. Yes.
Oh boy.
Adams another 3. Adams has 6 buckets in the game, all 3s, 18 points, and a 5-point lead for Washington, 74-69.
Again, this is those opportunity coming out of timeout. See if Oregon can maybe get a Hickok or an Ellington isolated. And if you're Washington, I think you continue to tell your players, let's go inside to Miller, and then maybe back outside to Adams, or let Miller go to work inside.
This is eerily similar to last year. We were at this point almost the exact same score, and Washington ran off 12 straight points to put the game away.
Yeah, I think Oregon's squad has a little bit better rhythm this year. I think this team, I don't want to say it's more talented, because certainly each year is a talented group. It just seems like they've got a feel for how they want to score the basketball and what they're doing offensively. And in an all-star game, that's the key. Now, I think a bigger thing that Oregon might think about is how are they going to guard Jaquia Miller down inside, because right now they have no answer, and they've tried to bring double team pressure, and if you can't bring it off of Adams.
She's 6'4", she's very physical.
Yep.
Oregon doesn't have anybody that matches up well with her. They're going to have to try to keep her out, but you know what? You can't guard her when she dribbles the whole length of the court and lays it in.
No, and that was impressive there, and she's really stood out to me as an athlete that's going to be terrific at the next level.
Hickok sends it into Ellington. 9:50 left to go in this one. 5-point lead for Washington.
And Ellington has Miller on her. I would think if you could get a little isolation here to the left side to Ciera Ellington, she may be able to beat Miller off the dribble.
Hayes.
Shot clock running down here.
Gonna have to get a shot stolen away. Toure ahead. Adams, the shot, yes.
Quick hands by Toure, picking Ula Chamberlin, and then going the other way. Nice finish by Adams.
Adams with 20 in the game.
15 Adams, 1 shot.
The lead is
coming
7.
back.
The lead is 8.
Oregon substitution back in the game is number 14, Aspen Slifka.
15 here in the second half for Adams.
Beneficiary of the inside-out play, and then right there the finish. And again, I think Ellington or Hickok need a touch right here for the Oregon squad.
77-69 pull-up jumper. That was Slifka, and she's fouled by Adams.
A little fortunate there. I think that was a tough pull-up. Adams ran a little bit too hard, mistimed and misspaced that closeout. 2 shots, gives Oregon a chance to take a breath here and hopefully get a couple buckets for their squad.
Slifka with 14 in the game. Front iron, no. Second shot on the way, that goes. Slifka with 15, the lead is 7, 77-70, 9:13 left to go here in the game. Adams turns around a long shot, no. Rebound Hickok, that may be a foul.
And it is, and we're gonna get 1-on-1 for the Oregon. We talked about that foul issue. I think you've got 1-on-1 here. That's 1-on-1.
That's her second personal 17 foul. That's going to put Oregon in the bonus.
9 minutes to go. That's a long time, 1-on-1.
Oregon in the bonus at the line, Kalani Hayes. She has 4 in the game, all in the first half.
Kalani Hayes will be shooting 1 and 1.
Steps up to the line. On the way, in and out. Missed the front end of the 1-on-1.
Comes Washington with that throwback Sonics jersey.
Stolen away and stolen right back. Slifka on the floor. It's a jump ball.
I think it's going to be hard to see which way the arrow. It looks like it's pointing Washington's way. There's an arrow there. I guess I can see it now.
Okay.
Straight across and on the scoreboard also.
8:50 left to go in this one. Adams, all she wants to do is get her feet set, and she's going to let it fly. Missed that one.
Again, I think Ellington against Miller is a good matchup. Yep. I think until Miller's out of the game, I'm getting the ball to Ellington every single time and giving her isolation basketball.
She just went right by the defender, Miller, and laid it in.
Yeah, that's a bad matchup for Washington. Again, Miller's a heck of a player. Just can't guard Ellington on the perimeter. There's a backdoor by Uma.
Miller, with her feet flat on the ground, shot that.
Goes here. I think Ellington goes here. They got a chance.
Inside, they were trying to get it to Hickok. Taken away by Miller. Here she comes. Length of the court, puts the ball down, puts it up, doesn't go, gets a rebound, puts it up and fouled.
There's too much size there.
Yeah. Hickok couldn't handle her down there, and I think the foul's on Hickok.
Miller brought that ball back to the middle with her right hand. I think she had an alley on the left side, but just overpowered the Oregon defenders there.
Miller at the line. She has 9 in the game, make it 10.
6-point spread, 8 minutes to go. You can see Washington getting away from the 5-and-5, substituting lineups to get the right kids out on the floor offensively, defensively.
They want to get Brynna Maxwell in, they did.
Looks like Bryant going to come from Miller.
Miller got both free throws.
Also checking in for Washington, number 2, Mae Bryant.
11 in the game for Jaquia Miller. Ellington with the ball. Ellington had her hand up. They get her the ball down low, gets a shot up, she's fouled.
Heck of a pass by Campbell Gray and a great job by Ellington to feel the pressure around her, pump fake, draw the contact. Because if she'd have gone right up, it would have got blocked.
Ellington at the line. Left-handed shooter first shot, she has it.
In Oregon here, 2-possession game. One of the rare missed free throws.
22 in the game for Ellington. She missed that free throw. The lead is 6, 79-73.
I think both teams late, if they wanted to, could get a backdoor play. As the aggressiveness of the defense could be an easy bucket out of a timeout, possibly.
Mae Bryant back in the game. That ball goes out of bounds off of Washington.
And Washington, again, I think has the advantage inside. Battled into Mae.
Fennaugh in the game. Ellington, boy, she's played a lot of minutes here. Slifka off the glass, no, tipped around inside. Washington comes down with it. Oh, right underneath this two-ray, reverse layup, and she has it.
Another breakdown defensively in transition by the Oregon squad. Again, hard. You don't know each other very well. You don't know who's getting where. Quick three by Fennaugh. I don't know if that was the shot that they wanted at that point. 2 or 3 feet behind the line.
Two-ray has 5 all here in the second half. There's a shot from, I don't know what you'd call the range on that one. Two-ray, the putback. Wow.
Good move, special athlete. She's been in passing lanes today.
She's got 7 all here in the second half.
Oregon personal foul goes to number 15, Kalani Hayes, who did personal 16 foul. Walling checks in for Washington.
Coming back.
I didn't hear it. Did they say 5th foul on Hayes? Or is that?
I didn't catch that either, Dave. They don't post the player foul up there on the board like normally you see in a high school and college game.
She takes the seat. Hickok checks in.
That looked to me like there was a little bit of contact.
And that'll be Oregon ball.
Ball's going to go Oregon's way, which it should have. I think there was some contact by Washington in the back. I didn't know homer, Dave. Neutral, down the middle. Oregon in my whole life. I'm staying neutral for this game.
Hickok has such determination. She just doesn't have the bulk to push those bigger players around.
Out of bounds off walk, Washington ball.
Washington ball, the lead is 10, 83-73, 6:12 left to go here in the game. Two-ray, gonna shoot it, no.
Rebound. Maldonado.
Two-ray slides over in the corner. They go inside to Bryant, though, and knocked out of bounds by Washington. Oregon ball, Fennaugh will inbound it.
Washington substitution back in the game is number 5, Isabella Hernandez.
Hernandez checks in for Two-ray.
And here, again, PIL time. Hickok possibly on a isolation.
Fennaugh off on the side.
Sloppy pass there.
Bryant.
Oh boy, poor kid. That's a whole lot of hustle and no reward.
Wow.
Fennaugh a little too careless with the ball there. Not taking care of it.
I'll tell you what, she's got athletic ability.
Yeah, Mae Bryant, a good player. Grand Canyon's getting a good one.
She had 10 in the first half. She got 2 in the second. Hickok. Inside, fouled.
Hickok back to the line. Again, benefits Oregon. Clock stops, can score. Plus, from here on out, it's double bonus time for the Oregon squad.
Hickok has 9 alone at the line.
Yeah. Clearly a kid that Washington has had trouble keeping in front today.
$17 in the game for Hickok. Front iron on that one. Ball bounced around. Oregon comes down with it, taken away though.
Walling came up with it there after Oregon had a chance to get that offensive rebound.
83-74.
Oregon squad needs a stop here.
Oh, down the lane, puts a shot up and it goes in.
Brynna Maxwell, Utah bound. Nice finish there.
Oregon personal foul is on number 4, Daryn Hickok. That's her second personal.
11 in the game for Maxwell.
Pulled out a floater there and did that with a whole bunch of contact.
Ellington checks back in. And Maxwell. The lead is 12, 86-74.
So this is a pretty important bucket right here for the Oregon squad.
We might get to 100 points in this game.
Very well could.
Inside, tied up. I believe the arrow goes to the Oregon.
Yeah, as the level of the athlete goes up, you really have to be decisive in there in that post area. Otherwise, kids are coming down quick, making plays. There's Hickok, open in the middle.
Hickok.
Right in the chin.
Travel.
Probably could have caught it, gone right up with it, probably overthunked that one a little bit. That's one of my words, Dave, overthunk. I don't think that's in the dictionary, but I use it anyway.
Nowadays, I'm not even sure what's in the dictionary anymore or what it means.
Oh, you lawyer guys, you know every word in that dictionary.
Washington with the ball. Turnaround in the lane, sends it back out on top. Maxwell, iron, rebound Ellington.
Oh, again, that's a bad foul for Washington, about 85 feet from the rim.
Washington
foul is on Mae Bryant.
Mae Bryant.
2 shots down for the Oregon squad. And Kalani Hayes back in, so either it wasn't her 5th foul or you get 6 fouls in this thing. I'm not sure which one it is.
Ciera Ellington at the line. She'll be shooting 2 shots.
Ellington, first shot on the way, yes. 23 in the game for Ellington. Second shot on the way, yes. Ellington hits them both. She has 24 in the game. The lead is 10, 86-76. 4:30 left to go. Look how well Hickok moves. And then comes back and blocks the shot.
She is a dynamic guard defender out on the perimeter. Absolutely dynamic.
Weber State, you know, I graduated from Portland State. I go to their games. I'm sure I'm going to see her again.
Yeah, so that'll be fun for her coming back into Portland. Ooh, that was travel.
Yeah, travel. That's a travel on Jaquina Miller.
That one works on the dance floor, Dave, but not on the basketball court.
There you go.
That was a spin move with a few too many steps to it.
Right. Pull-up jumper, rebound inside.
Oh,
Chamberlain, a pass to Hayes. What a pass.
8-point game here. 4 minutes.
Hayes was 6 in the game. 8-point lead, 86-78. Oregon needs a couple of buckets.
Oh, that's another
turn
walk.
around, knocked that away.
That's another travel. They missed that one.
You know, Miller's got a great little spin move. She just doesn't dribble when she takes it.
Casey and the Sunshine Band used to sing Boogie Shoes. And she's got some Boogie Shoes going on out there. That's a little fake handoff.
Works her way inside and just muscles her way to 2 points.
Exactly right. Just bully balled there.
88-78, 3:35 left to go. Ellington, Hayes,
Campbell Gray here trying to make a play.
Gray
Let's see that
pulls up, shoots, too hard. Rebound, Hayes puts it back up and in.
Rebound in the basket, Kalani Hayes.
8 in the game for Hayes.
At this point, Oregon get a couple stops. Shot clock, don't have to foul yet.
Down by 8, 88-80. Closing in on 3 minutes. Lob underneath, turn around, yes.
A little too easy to Buckley.
Buckley with her first basket of the second half. She has a total of 7 in the game. Hickok needs help. Gets it. Chamberlain. Ellington. Dishes off. And the ball goes out of bounds, goes off of Oregon.
Jump ball going to Washington.
Just need a couple of 3-point buckets.
Yeah, it's going to be tough here. I think you're going to have to get a couple stops and be super efficient offensively.
Washington, 2:27 on the clock. This is Adams. And
jump ball call, trying to do a little bit too much there. In a situation where Washington could, I don't want to say put the dagger in it, but that bucket there would have really gone a long way to finishing this thing off.
90-80, 2:15 left to go in the game. Ellington in the lane, dishes off, they send it back out on top. Chamberlain. Hayes. Campbell Gray, spin. She's in the lane, turns around, yes.
It is. I'm going to say Larry Bird. You could say Dirk Nowitzki all you want.
2 minutes left in the game.
Good shot by Campbell.
Here comes Miller in the lane.
She's got her dancing shoes there. I don't know about that one. I know the other two, she was moving a little bit. I think that one did a nice job pivoting. I think you give Ellington a go right here. Get a quick bucket.
Ellington passes off, wants the ball back, but down the lane. There's a shot. Gray doesn't go. Just hung on the rim.
It did. That would have been a big one. That would have got it to 2 possessions.
Exactly.
Oregon now.
90-82. What an effort by Oregon girls in this game.
Free throw time.
Headed to the line is number 12, Ashley Maldonado.
Daryn Hickok, her third personal foul. It's 18.
Foul on Hickok, her third.
88% at the foul line during her high school season. So Oregon needs a little bit of luck here, and Washington needs to just do what they need to do to close this thing out.
Umuture checks back in.
Yes. You beat me to that one, Dave.
All right. Maldonado hits that one. The lead is 9, 91-82. 1:18 left in this game. Second free throw is good. Maldonado now with 7 in the game. 92-82.
Ellington's got to go here. No time to be patient.
Lobbed underneath. Toure steals it away. Well, she's got a couple of steals in this game.
Yeah, she's been in passing lanes all day long, and there's a little bit of a break there for Oregon. I looked like that was tip, but not. Those guys a lot closer than we were. So here we go. 1 minute to go.
1 minute. Ellington with the ball. The lead is 10. Lob inside, turnaround, doesn't go. Rebound, Hickok puts it back, that doesn't go. Tries to get her own rebound, taken away by Washington.
They're either going to foul here or just let it go.
40 seconds. Oregon fouls. Campbell Gray fouls Aspen Adams.
Oregon just hit a little bit of a dead spot there late. But a valid effort, and again, impressive by the Washington squad for both halves. 47 in the first half. You're at 45 right now in the second half.
Adams at the line. Shot on the way. Front iron, she missed it. Ellington quickly.
Gotta go, gotta let that fly.
Come on, shoot the ball. Hickok will. Nope, off to the side, and Washington comes up with it.
And that should be all she wrote right there, Dave. Shot clock
I don't know.
off.
Hickok with a foul.
Okay, you already know.
Hickok wasn't going to let Adams just come down uncontested.
Fourth personal, 10th team foul. Aspen Adams back at the line, this time to shoot 2.
Adams at the line, missed the last time, got that one. 22 in the game for Aspen Adams.
They're the designated three-point shooter there for stretches for the Washington squad.
Hayes checks out. Ellington checks out. What a game she's played. 94, 82, 20 seconds. Fennaugh dishes off. Might as well take a shot.
Yeah, Oregon got to go here. There we go.
There's a long shot from outside, in and out.
And that's it.
That's
really well
be
played game by both teams. Really good job.
There's the horn.
Ladies and gentlemen, for a very well-played high school basketball game. Again, your final score, Washington.
Oregon actually outscored Washington in the second half, 48-47, our final score.
And I don't think that could quite be right.
No.
They've got 82. It should be 38.
38,
Yeah.
38, okay.
So
94-82, our final score.
Again, I thought both teams for an all-star situation got in the flow of their offense, what they wanted to do. After the first few minutes, Oregon struggled a little bit, but they were good the rest of the night. And that was a fun game to watch. Worth your price of admission, and again, great cause with the Oregon Sports Authority.
We had this trepidation when we started the whole thing, and we looked at these rosters and said, what's going to happen in this game? And this was very entertaining and very well played.
Yes, well played game by both teams. Oregon just didn't quite have the horses. Maybe the fact with only 8 players could have hurt them a little bit. And I think the biggest thing that hurt them was lack of a true post presence.
All right, I see this stat guy coming up.
It really felt like that Mae Bryant and Jaquia Miller were the dominant forces in the game. We're going to take a look at the numbers here, and I'll let you take a look at those. I'll analyze them a little bit, and we'll talk about it.
All right, let me give you the total points in the game for each side, and we'll start with Washington. Mae Bryant had 12 in the game, 10 in the first half. Isabella Hernandez with 10. Brynna Maxwell with 12. Ashley Maldonado with 7. Brooke Walling didn't score in the game. She played 19 minutes. Mady Similek with 3 in the game. Jacinta Buckley with 7. Umu Ture with 7. 23 in the game for Aspen Adams and 13 for Jaquia Miller. Leading rebounder in the game for Washington would be Buckley with 6. Ture with 6. I'm sorry, Miller had 7. Individual scoring for Oregon. Ula Chamberlin with 4, 8 in the game for Campbell Gray, 24 for Ciera Ellington, and 13 rebounds. Kalani Hayes with 8. Nicole Fennaugh with 6, 17 in the game for Hickok, and 15 in the game for Slifka. Hickok 10 of 12 at the line, Ellington 9 of 10, 13 rebounds in the game for Ellington. For Oregon, our final score again, 94-82.
A couple things that stand out as I'm looking here, and I know it's kind of loud right now. We have the MVP going to Aspen Adams of the Washington squad. Deservedly so when you look at the numbers.
Coaching legend Nick Robertson. Aspen Adams, her 2019 Girls MVP.
And they've just announced the Girls MVP in this game, and it is Aspen Adams. She had 23 in the game, including 6 of 11 from the free throw line. I know the tournament media people said they'll try to get her up to see us. We're taking pictures now, but go ahead, Kurt.
Well, I just take a look at the numbers. Washington was able to stabilize the boards in the second half. They won the rebound battle in the second half after Oregon dominated it. got to the foul line a little bit more, and the three-point line, they ended up for the game 8 of 32, but again, Aspen Adams, 6 for 11 from the three-point line. That's super efficient. She has 23 points on 12 shots. Washington ends up 44%, Oregon 37%. Again, really well-played game for an all-star game. Not sloppy by any means. You could see 15 turnovers by the Washington squad. Oregon had 21. Probably got a little bit careless with the ball in the second half. It probably hurt them a little bit. Gave Washington some extra possessions. And that was the difference.
All right, minutes played in the game. The leaders for Oregon were Campbell Gray and Ciera Ellington with 32. Hickok played 29. The minutes leader for Washington was Maldonado. Actually, it turns out was the leader with 23.
A good solid point guard there, play by her. You could see she just was kind of running the show for them. Interesting stat from the Washington wing. I just pointed out that Jacoya Miller, their post player, had their leading assist total of 5. And for the Oregon squad, pretty balanced there. So I think turnovers hurt the Oregon squad in the second half, unable to overcome those.
Rebounding totals for the game, it was Oregon 52, Washington 46. So that's one of the things that kept Oregon in the game. I was looking for turnovers, and Oregon actually had 21 turnovers to 15 for Washington. You know, this was a game, although this game winds up being a 12-point win, with just a couple of minutes to go, Oregon was just down just a couple, you know?
Yes. A key stat you mentioned, rebounding. Washington only had 4 offensive rebounds at halftime.
Right.
They finished with 14. So that's 10 extra possessions they got in that second half. That was huge. And, you know, again, Washington shoots better at the foul line in the second half. They get to the foul line 15 times in the second half versus 7 in the first half, whereas Oregon had the rebound and free throw advantage in the first half. That was about even in the second half, and the turnovers obviously hurting Oregon. And again, a whole lot of Aspen Adams shooting the 3-ball. Comparing, she had 6 at halftime, Dave, and finishes with 23. So that's a 17-point second half. Very impressive.
All right, the lead was tied 2 times. There were 2 lead changes in the game. Points in the paint, Washington 46, Oregon 38. Kind of expected that.
Yeah, kind of expected it, and that's a pretty impressive showing by the Oregon squad, to be honest with you.
Fast break points, 6 for Washington, 4 for Oregon. The second chance points, 19 for Washington, 17 for Oregon. This is bench scoring, okay?
Yeah.
Washington 53, Oregon 32.
Yeah, a little skewed by the fact they had 10 kids, so 2 more players to add to your bench total.
All right, so interesting.
Good game.
Interesting game, good game.
Yeah, really good game. I think if you're watching that at home, that's a great game. If you're here live, it was a great game. I think the players had a chance to reflect back on that someday, but it was a well-played, hey, I practiced twice and I go out and impressed with the PIL kids from the Oregon squad. You know, Hickok and Ellington, really solid athletes who showed that they can do more than just be athletic. And then on the Washington squad, you know, Aspen Adams shooting it, and then the big kids of Bryant and Miller.
I see the media down there has got Aspen Adams, and they're trying to direct her up here to us. So if we can get her up here, we'll hang on just a little bit more.
Yeah, I think Ryan's down there doing his work.
Oh, I think Ryan's there with her
Ryan's
too.
Ryan's right there, Dave.
Our producer, Ryan Johnson. So we'll hang on here for just a second. Want to remind you, the boys' game is coming up at 6 o'clock, and we'll be doing that. Our crew tonight for our girls' game, our producer, Ryan Johnson, our director, Jim Thompson, our audio engineer, Alva Myers. We've also had people working on the camera. As soon as we can get her up here, my broadcast partner tonight, Kurt Guelsdorf. I'm Dave Hall. All right, Ryan's
Dave, I have an MVP cookie for her, too.
Oh, you know what? She might take that from him.
Yeah, really good lunch there from Elephant's Deli out here on the west side of town.
It's going to be an exciting boys' game, just like it was a girls' game, and we'll get her up. We'll get her on camera, too. Aspen Adams.
Aspen's headed to Loyola.
She had more points than she averaged during the season. All right, got a headset on. Can you hear me okay?
For sure.
Aspyn, congratulations. Let's put your trophy out there. Congratulations first on winning the game. Second, you are the most valuable player in the game. You put on a show there, especially at the start of second half. 6 3-pointers in the game, 4 there to start the second half. How'd you feel about the game tonight?
I felt great. I mean, I've been playing against a lot of these girls most of my high school career, so it finally felt great to play with them, and I couldn't have gotten this trophy without them. They had to get me the passes and the great looks, so I'm really glad I had this team with me.
You know, you got off to a great lead to start the game, and then Oregon caught up with you. You got off to another big lead to start the second half, and Oregon caught up, and was kind of nip and tuck until about the last 4 minutes when you opened up a lead in the game. What happened during those back and forth?
We just didn't play very good defense, and we were taking quick shots, and they got into transition offense, and we couldn't get back in time to stop them. So on our spurts, we had really good shots, and we got back on defense and stopped them.
All right. I'm Dave Hall. This is Kurt Guelsdorf. He coached at Oregon City. They're 3-time Oregon State
I know who
champion.
they are.
Oh, okay. Kurt, go ahead.
Yeah, Aspen, I am really impressed with your game.
Thank
and
you.
I thought, you know, you guys had the advantage inside, and I don't know if your coaches talked about it during timeouts about trying to play a little bit inside out. Tell me a little bit about that.
Before the game, actually, we knew we had the height advantage, so we were trying to get it inside, but they would double and triple down, so we were kicking it out for threes, and we got wide open looks from that.
Yeah, I thought when you had your feet set, it looked like it was going in every time. I was surprised when you missed more than when you made it, because it looked good every single time.
Thank you.
What do you know about Loyola Marymount? You looking forward to that?
Looking so much forward to it. I'm really excited. I get down there June 28th, and the guys down there said not much of a summer, but all my summer is filled with basketball anyway, so I'm glad to be with my teammates in the summer and working towards our goals.
All right, well, congratulations. Like I said, first on the win. Second, you are the 25th year anniversary Northwest Shootout Girls MVP.
Thank you, thank you.
Congratulations.
All right, that's it for our girls show. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll give you information about the boys, and we'll be ready for boys action. So we'll be right back here on Oregon Sports Beat.